To become a data engineer, this is a roadmap. So we knew one language, that was SQL. Whenever you want to communicate to a database, we used to have this SQL. So SQL is the only language which you want to communicate to a database, you can use this technology. Now, not always that you will be given an opportunity to connect with your database. There could be a situation where you have to connect to some external source. You have to talk to CSV files, you have to talk to Excel files, you have to talk to JSON files, right? So that's what we know. It's a language which you can use it for communicating with any other file system. For that, you need one programming language. For that, we need programming language. So to talk to only database, SQL was the only language. To talk to any other files, if you want to talk to any other system, you have to know one programming language. That programming language, what we are going to learn will be Python. Will be Python. Now, one thing we know about Python is like, we know it's a snake, but is there any language? Is there any technology that we have? Now let's wait and watch what exactly is this Python. Now to start with, we'll see what is Python. And in fact, there are n number of other programming languages in the market. Why is that we are choosing Python? That's one thing which we will be seeing here. And apart from that, learning any technology or any skill, it's always necessary to know at least a bit about history. So we'll cover history also. And why do we need Python? Followed by, we will see the installation. So installation of Python, where we can start practicing writing our code. So that will be the process. Now to start with, Python is a general purpose high level programming language. That's the first point it says. And if you want to know who was the person who actually introduced, Guido van Rossum was a father of the Python, and Python was introduced in 1989 in the National Research Institute. So I would say Python is not a very old language. I can say that it's almost 24 years here and 11 years in 90s. I would say it's almost 35 years old. So Python is 35 years old, and it was first introduced in Netherlands, and the father of the Python was Guido van Rossum. And more importantly, if you are thinking that Python is coming from a snake name, it's not. So the Python name is actually coming from a popular show, and which they call the Complete Monty Python Circus. Okay. And finally, we have seen dynamically type programming. Now, other points are self-understanding, but what is this first point and last point? What do you mean by high level programming language? And let's see what is this dynamically type programming. Now, these are the two things which we need to know. To understand what is this high level programming language, I have given you a small snippet code, assuming that you are all learning coding for the first time, right? Assuming that you're all seeing the coding for the first time, you've never ever come across coding in your life. If you are seeing for the first time, just go through both the snippet code in the right side as well as the left side. Even though if you don't know anything, you can still see that your high level programming language, you still understand what it is doing. Maybe you may not be knowing the exact syntax. You may not be aware of exact what parameters you have to give, but still, if you observe in the high level programming language, there is something that I can still understand. What is that? What is that? I can say that this function or this program, what you have written here is actually for adding two numbers. Everyone knows because with a name you can know, right? And it is actually returning the sum. So even though you're new to the programming, you can still go and understand what exactly is written, right? So we need to understand that something which is understandable and readable for human, it becomes a high level programming language. It's readable, right? You can understand what it is. But if you focus on low level programming language, even though you know complete language, it's very hard to understand this. What is this dot section, global start, parameters, move EAX, move AAX. No, at least this is readable. See, number one is 5, number two is 5. So basically, I'm adding two numbers. So 5 plus 10 is what I'm doing. But here, I'm actually moving into some variable, and I didn't even know where is like what they are doing XOR and add. It's difficult to understand, right? Now, this type of code where the system understands and you doesn't understand, we call it as low level programming language, right? Now, this makes you to focus on high level language because it is clear, right? And you can understand what it is. Now, assuming that you're all from non-programming background, you don't know anything, you don't know even ABCD in any of the programming language. If I want to talk about what is the prerequisites that you need to know, what is that first thing you have to know to learn Python, I would say if you know English, you can learn Python. As simple as that. If you know English, you can write code in Python because if you see in the left side code, all are English words. All are English words. With that English words only, I'm writing the code. So it's very easy to write. One of the best and easiest language that you can have is Python. And we are into a now modern way of writing the code. When I was writing the code back in 2014, 2015, 10 years back, they used to give me a separate ODC, that is a separate cubicle for working with your projects where your Google also will not open because of the data security, because that you can take some photos, your mobile phone also will not be allowed. The restrictions was in such a way that, but now we have modern way of coding. We have a modern way of coding where we have all the AI tools. We have Chat GPT, we have the Bard, which is nothing but Google's Gemini. So there are a lot of things that we have now. You simply go and ask, you will get the code, right? Now we are in the modern way of writing code. Now at this stage, with this generation, never ever think that coding is tough. It's all about finding the right code and you can reuse it. Now we have come to a stage. So imagine you want to buy a car. The wheels, the engine, the petrol engine, the diesel engine, the gear system, everything is already invented, right? You're not going to reinvent everything. So what happens? Maybe new model, new features comes, but the base has already been fixed. You cannot go and change the steering. You cannot go and change the braking system. You cannot go and change your engine, right? All these are already there. So like that, in Python also, you have everything. The only thing which you have to go and figure out is how to use it, when to use it, right? Now, if you are having a bad impression on, oh, coding is tough, I'm not going to understand, just think about one thing, right? If you know English, you can know Python. As simple as that. Just you see the left side, every single word is an English word. And I'm just writing in a way that the system understands, right? So to conclude about the high level language and low level language, high level language is something which humans can understand. It's a readable format. Whereas low level language is a system understands and it's very hard for the humans to read, right? Now, this is all about that we were seeing about Python is a general purpose high level programming language. So you can easily understand what has been written. Even though you are seeing the code for the first time, even though you are coming from a non-coding background, you can still understand. Now there is another one called dynamically typed programming. So these are the one of the feature that why Python is very famous for. Let's figure out what is this dynamically typed programming, right? Now, in order to explain that, I have few of the things to discuss. So let's discuss about why to use Python for data engineering. We have n number of other technology and n number of other languages. So why are we using Python? The first thing is it has a larger community. So when I say community, that is what I was saying, right? If you don't know any question, if you don't know any answer, you simply go and ask in community. You simply go and browse. You simply go and ask this question in Google. You simply go and ask this question in any AI tool. You will get the answer. For example, how to read one full line. If you just go and write something, you'll already get the answers. How to convert some file system in Python, you'll already get the answers. So the good thing about Python is, as I said, already there are code that is available. You just need to pick the right code and we have to use it at the right place. Again, I'm saying no one expects you to write the code from scratch if you are working in your projects, right? Maybe for the interview purpose, they may ask you, do you know Python? Write this Python code. I'll ask a question, you write a code. Those type of things can come into the question tab. But if you are writing the code for a program or for your projects, just try to understand you can pick the code from wherever you want and you can put wherever you want. And but one thing which we expect is the logic should be fulfilled. Now, as I said, it has a larger community where you can ask questions and you can get the solutions. And that should be your first point, right? Now, followed by very easy syntax. Very easy syntax. They have made it very, very simple. As I said, it's a new generation of way of writing. When I was learning coding, a lot of syntax, I used to learn Java first. So Java is the toughest language where you have to maintain the syntax, where you have to understand the core concepts, where you have to focus on all the like small things here. But here, it's very easy. It's very easy. So because of this easy syntax, we are again preferring to use Python. Just remember, data engineering is a Mount Everest. Data engineering is a Mount Everest, and you're climbing Mount Everest. You're climbing to the top of the mountain there. But, but in order to climb, you have to make yourself free. You cannot call, you cannot take all the heavy load and you cannot go to the Mount Everest, right? You have to make yourself free. And that is why we are reaching the tough position, but we are making other things easy. And that is why we are choosing a language which is making us easy to take there, right? So you cannot take all the heavy load and you cannot climb Mount Everest. Not possible. You have to walk as freely as possible, right? To do that is what we are preferring a language which is, should be very easy, should be easily possible for us to implement the logic. And that will be the second case, easy syntax. Now, I was talking about how easy it is. Let's go and see this simple example. Okay. You all people have joined today for Python class. As in then I just need to wish you good morning. As in then I just need to wish you good morning. It could be a good morning, it could be a hello world, it could be welcome to class, it could be anything. If I want to simply print a statement, if I want to simply print a statement, see the difference. In Java, in Java, we have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6 lines, and you may observe how many brackets are there, right? Almost two open brackets, two close brackets. So just to tell you welcome or hello, I don't know what is this public, I don't know what is this static, I don't know what is this void, I don't know what is this made, what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this? Is it really required to write this much of code? And that is how your difficult Java is. If you want to write a simple hello world, the amount of time that you spend on coding, as well as the syntax, as well as the right words, right syntax, is a bit hard. And in Python, just one statement, as simple as that, right? Now, this is a clear indication for you saying that if you want to write a simple word, the preferred language will definitely be Python here. And this makes it easier for us using for data engineering pipelines, right? Now, in the start of the line, I was actually talking about Python is a dynamically typed programming. What is this dynamically typed programming? If you take any coding language, before we use any variables, we need to go and tell them what type of variable it is. So variable means I'm going to use it for some calculations. For example, I want to add two numbers. I want to subtract two numbers. For that, I need to assign some variables, correct? Variable is something which holds some records as of now. Now, if you see here, in Java, I have to use a data and I have to use a 6. So what we'll do, first I have to go and define string A equal to data, integer B equal to 6. That means before even using in your programming, you have to first declare it. What is a declare? You need to tell what type of value can be stored in A, what type of value can be stored in B. So that means you're saying that in A, I am going to store a type called string because data is a string. And in B, it's just a number. I have to tell them that what is this B? Come on, B is nothing but integer. I need to tell this. I need to tell this. Now, this is called static type programming. That means you need to declare it. Without declaring, you cannot use it. Now, this is actually happens in Java. But if you take a Python, it's actually called dynamically typed programming. Now, what do you mean by dynamic type programming? As simple as that. You use it first, and then after that, it will get created. Okay, for example, if you're going with A, you can directly assign A equal to data. You can directly assign B equal to 8. Now, the moment you assign A, the value that is assigned to A doesn't even care about the data type. It will first assign and then only it will think about data type. Now, like this, the data types will be created at the runtime itself. That is how it is called dynamically typed programming. And you will be seeing a lot of things in the coming days. So at this point of time, just assume that your Python is dynamically typed programming where you need not focus on data types. Okay, what is that variable? Whether the variable has to be like predefined. Should I go and assign it and then only I can use it? Don't worry about anything. You can simply go and assign it, right? Now, I'm not here to debate Java is good or Python is good. It's all about my usage, right? Today also, even though I'm going to teach Python, I can very proudly say that Java is evergreen. Java is evergreen. Right from the beginning, we have seen Java has been clicked in all of the industries. The most of the applications which you see, which you're using on your desktop applications, most of the applications is written in Java. I'm saying that there is no ever replacement to Java. Okay. IPL season is coming, right? So we have IPL season is going on, and down the line we also have a T20 World Cup. Every day, one thing which you've been hearing is there is always a debate that happens. Should Virat Kohli be selected? Should Virat Kohli be selected for the World Cup because of the slow innings, right? We always have keep seeing this. You know what? Virat Kohli is evergreen, right? Right from throughout his career, the consistency he has maintained, the number of runs he has scored is on top. He has done a lot of things for India, but still, now we have come to a stage whether we are thinking whether we should really select him, right? Because in a new norm, like in the new world, people are scoring 280 and 290. There was a case where for 50 overs we used to score 280, 270, right? In a 50 overs match, we used to score 270 or 280. But now we have come to a stage where for 20 overs, people are scoring 280, 270. Now the things have changed, right? So we cannot still rely on most of the old technologies. That's why we are shifting gears from Java to Python. So Python is for different use case. Java is for different use case. Again, I'm saying each one will have pros and cons, right? Each one will have pros and cons. Now, if you ask me, in Java, you can build web applications, you can build your enterprise applications, you can use it for testing, you can use it for n number of use cases, right? But the only problem is your Java cannot be used for your data engineering or data science or data analyst. Only for this purpose, we cannot use Java. Because data science, data engineering, the subject itself is tough, and you're overcomplicating it if you're writing it in Java. Both are programming language, but you're overcomplicating it if you're writing that in Java. But I am saying your Python is also good for web applications. Your Python is also can be used for desktop applications. You can do whatever you want in Python, but it may not be that effective. It may not be that effective. See, I'll say you very simple, okay? In my home, my mom also can cook. I can also cook. We both know cooking. One day she cooks food, another day I cook food. We both can cook. But when I go and cook, I'll completely mess up the kitchen, right? I'll instead of using one whistle, maybe I would have used four whistles. Instead of using one stove, I would have used a couple of stoves there, messed up, spill the water, spill the things. Vegetable, when I'm cutting the vegetables, I would have wasted few. So that type of inefficiency will be there, but taste will be good. But if you ask my mom, the way she cooks the food, she goes back to comes out of the kitchen, exactly the kitchen will be exactly like how it was before. That type of clean it will be there, right? So taste wise, yeah. So both can cook, but who is efficient that point of time, right? So that is where I'm saying both will have pros and cons. Now in the recent times, I can watch YouTube videos and I can cook. It's not a big deal, right? So everyone can do cooking, and the moment you open Instagram reels or YouTube shorts, only cooking videos comes, right? Nowadays we have trend like that, right? A lot of people are like getting famous only in the cooking videos. So anyone can cook. My mom doesn't watch any YouTube video, but she cooks with experience, right? So two different use cases, but both can cook. But who is good at that point of time really matters. So I'm not here to debate whether Python is good or Java is good. All I really need is for which application, what is important. So here you can build your desktop application even in Python and Java, but most efficient one is Java. That's why I'm saying, right, I will never ever put down Java. It is always an evergreen. But Python is also evergreen. For what? If you want to build models, if you want to build pipelines, if you want to write some code for data engineering, I would say Python is good. So Python is good for what we need. Java is good for the applications that we already have in the market, right? So with all this, let's get into the what makes the Python a special feature, right? As I said, each programming language has few features. See, again, since the season of cricket is going on, let me try to bring that example. We have all rounders, we have batsmen, we have fielding, we have bowling. So a team will be a combination of bowlers, batsmen, and all rounders, right? Now, what does this all rounders do, right? They are not perfect batsers, they are not perfect bowlers, right? If you have seen, they're not perfect batters, they're not perfect bowlers. So all rounders are, they take some features from batting team, they take some features from the bowling people, and they club it and they perform. And that's why we call them as a all rounder. Similarly, in my case, Python is also a all rounder. It knows everything. It knows everything. Maybe it's not perfect in everything, but it knows everything, right? So what does this do? It actually takes some of the functional features from C. C is a programming language. It takes some of the functional features. When I say functional features, you can write logics and you can call one logic inside another logic. We can write a block by block code. So we can call this as a functional language. Followed by, we have Java. So Java, the mainly important feature of Java is OOPS concept. So OOPS is nothing but it's like a object oriented programming. So object oriented programming, what happens? Everything you consider as a objects, like you consider as a class. For example, as I told you, you have to first write a skeleton. You take any car, every car will have an engine, every car will have a steering. But how do you consider this as an object? So it first defines a skeleton of the system. So that is what is called OOPS concept. And this Python, they can do everything. They can do everything, right? It can use the functional programming language features. It can also be done for scripting. You can also write OOPS concept. You can also write a modular in the sense you can write module by module and we can reuse it. That is also possible. Now, this Python does everything, but one thing which it is very much famous is one thing which is very much famous is it is famous for its data related capabilities. It provides a lot of great libraries where you can work with your data driven technologies, right? Now, as I said, why Python is famous is it is not focusing on only on one way. It is using functional programming language. It is learning from functional programming from C. It is learning OOPS features from C++ Java. It is learning scripting language. It is doing modular programming. All this combination is what is making Python one of the best in the market. Okay. With this, I would say large community, easy syntax, and open source. So what is this open source? People always, people always prefer for free, right? If anything is like a pricing, people will usually don't use it. Okay, I'll give an example. In your Android phone or in your iPhone, all the applications which you have is actually free. What if I told you that Instagram is, you have to pay for Instagram, you have to pay for WhatsApp? In case if it is costing, would you have ever used it? No, right? So we always prefer anything which is open to public. open to download, open to free. That is what we are also preferring for. We want to use Python means it has to be free. If someone says that, hey, you have to pay this much, no one is going to do that. So the open source feature is also making for us easier to use this for our data engineering, right? Right. The most important thing about Python and specifically we use for data engineering is it has lot of rich libraries. Lot of rich libraries. So what is a library? Library is set of a place where set of books will be there, right? You go into library, you can take any reference book and you can read, you can prepare, you can do whatever you want, right? Now you're not asking you to go and write a new book, but whatever the book is there, we are asking you to refer. Same way, if we are asking you to write some logic, most of the logics are already present in libraries. We just want to reuse it. We just want to reuse it. And that is why you see that we have something like pandas, PySpark, and pandas, PySpark, NumPy, scikit-learn. All these are libraries which already the logic they have written, they have already used the functions and you're going to just refer it. Now that's why it's just called rich libraries, right? Now, at last, one thing which I need to say is if you start comparing the job opportunities, Python stands on top. Python stands on top. So Python is one of the language which most of the your market people will ask. They're asking because everyone wants their work to be done very easily. So if you compare all the languages, your Python is the most asked technology in the real time. This is more than enough for you to crack the opportunity. But we will be learning Python for data engineering perspective. So that is one thing which we can say job opportunity wise, this has a lot of opportunities. And as I said, the last option, which I would also consider as a platform independent. So Python never says that, yeah, I'll work only in Mac machine, I'll work only in Windows machine, I'll work in only in Ubuntu machine. There is nothing like that. You can install and you can work Python in any machine, any OS. Now that's the beauty of Python, right? So we have seen all of these features and that summarizes why we are using Python for data engineering. Now, again, I'm saying data engineering is a Mount Everest. You cannot take all the heavy loading while climbing. You have to make it as simple as possible. So to go on top, you need to make your things smooth. You need to make your path clear. For that, I'm choosing a technology which is Python, which is the most convenient way to write it. I've shown you a clear example. For simple welcome to KSR itself, in Java, I have to write 6 lines. In Python, it's just a 1 line. So I'm making my work easier, right? So with all of this, let's see how this Python programming is helpful. As we know, anyone can learn, right? A couple of days back, I just went to some function, and 5 year, 6 year old kid, they're discussing about Python. This happened really. It's called kids coaching, it seems. I don't know. 5 years, fifth standard, sixth standard guys, small kids are talking about programming. Now, programming has become a skill that anyone is learning now. When you ask a fifth standard, sixth standard guys, they know computer science. They know what is computer. They know what is laptop. They know what is mouse. They know what is CPU. They know what is coding. Now, that is what the technology has been invoked in humans' brain, right? So, as I said, very easy to learn, readable. You can install in any machine. Memory management so good that you can always use it for big data. You have very much a strong libraries. Lot of libraries are there. We can reuse it. Exception handling. If something goes wrong, you can make sure which is easier to understand. You can get the error. Open source, pretty much anyone can download. And as I said, both are related, so it's free. So all this programming features making me to always go with Python and not on Java. If Java, see, Java is also evergreen. When Java itself is not preferred, forget about all the other technologies like C, C++, .NET, forget about all that. Java itself we are not preferring. So all these are the features that why we are preferring Python for our data engineering work, right? So as I said, you can build web application, you can build a desktop application, you can also build some games, software development, scientific calculations. You can also process your audio files, video files. You can even build IRCTC website, image processing. All this we can do, but we will use Python for data engineering, data science, data analysis. For all of this data driven technologies or AI technologies, we can start using Python, right? So Python is also like an ocean, but what is our scope? We will learn that. So if you ask me in this classes, will you teach Python to develop a web application? The answer to your question is no. In this course, will you teach Python so that I can develop my own video games? The answer is no. In this question, in this course, if your question is, will I be able to develop a website? The answer is no. In this course, will I be able to use Python for data engineering? The answer is yes, because we will be focusing only on our need, right? We'll be focusing only on our need. We are not going to use it for other things. What we need as a data engineer, we want to communicate to different tools. We want to talk to Excel files, we want to talk to SQL files, we want to talk to different systems. Well, that is where we will be using Python, and that is where Python will be helpful for us. The problem with SQL was you can communicate only with a database, right? For example, if you want to survive in India, you have to know a language called Hindi. Hindi is more than enough if you want to survive in India. Anywhere you go, people will understand Hindi. With this Hindi, if you're asking, can I survive all over the world? The answer is no. Most of the countries don't even know what language it is. So in order to survive outside India, you need to know English. Similarly, in order to talk to outside tools, you have to know one programming language that is nothing but my Python. Okay. So all these are applications. Now, in order to work with Python, you need to have one software. Just I cannot open a notepad and I cannot write code, right? So you have to have a software. For Python, I don't know why these people have kept all the like snake names. We have something called Anaconda. So Anaconda Python is actually an environment provider. So you can go and start writing the code. Okay. So the next thing is we will go with how to download and install. Okay. So how to download and install your software. Okay. So initially, to install Python, it was bit hard. Okay. Initially to install Python, it was bit hard. You have to go and do manually. But now we have come to a stage where the installation of Python is so easy. Okay. Let's see where is that. So this is where you can install your Python. Okay, directly you can install Anaconda. See, initially it was very hard for installation, but now they've made it everything to be available in one place. Now let's see what is that one place. Okay, if you want to install Python, don't go and separately install Python. Don't go and separately install editor. Don't do all that. Directly go and get this Anaconda. So before coming to the next class, I want everyone to install this because we are going to see everything practicals, right? So today is the only day you have seen the PPT in our Python class. So for the next 22 to 24 hours, that what we are going to learn Python will be completely only on the practical hands-on experience. So before coming to the next class, I want everyone to install this. It's a very easy installation process. We will be sharing this document. This document has two components. One is like installing the Python step by step. One is installing Anaconda. As I said, we are into this modern way of using tools, which is straightforward available with the Anaconda. If you install Anaconda, everything will come as a package, right? So let's see how to install Anaconda. As in then, you simply go and search in Google Anaconda download, and you will be having this Anaconda distribution. Just click it and you will be taken to this screen, Anaconda products. So please download it. While downloading, it will ask you whether you want to download for Windows, whether you want to download for Mac, or whether you want to download for your Ubuntu machine, whatever it is. Depending on your system, you please go and download this. Once you download, it's getting downloaded, and you can see that. So Anaconda, I have installed long back. So the version which you see is 2022 version, but for you it will be 2024 or 2023. The file size for me, it's actually showing 600 MB. For you, it may be like 580 or it could be 620. So never worry about the size. So download this Anaconda file, the exe file, and please make sure that you get for your 64-bit system. And whether it is a Windows or it's a Mac, you just see it and download it. Once you download it, put it somewhere, like in the software, just put it somewhere. And if you see, I've downloaded 2019 version also, 2023 version also. For you, it could be 2024 version. So download this and put it into one folder. Don't put it in download. Usually whenever you download, right, it will be in download folder. So copy from there and put it into any software folder or any of your drive folder. Once you do that, as simple as that, double click it. If you double click, the installation will start. So welcome to Anaconda setup. You please go and click next. Step number 1. Step number 2, you have to agree your terms and conditions. Just agree your terms and conditions. Step number 3, you are the only person who's going to use system. So please make sure that you don't need add any privileges. Just go with just me, because no one is going to use your system. It's only you. So just go with the recommended one, install. Choose the path. Minimum, it should have 3 GB of space. So make sure that in your C drive, you have at least 3 GB of space. Click next. The installation will start. So register Anaconda as my default Python. Just go and click install. Just click this checkbox. Automatically it will be checked in. You need not do anything. Just go and click next. And here you go. The installation will be done in the next 10 minutes. If you see, these are all the installation steps that will happen. Okay, so it will all uncheck the it will install all the libraries that we have. It will install. So this is a bit lengthy process. It may take some 5 to 6 minutes for extracting all the libraries and importing it. So that's not your work. Your work is to just wait for this next button to be enabled. So please wait with patience. Within 10 minutes you'll be able to see, and you can see that all the libraries has been extracted. You can be seeing that there will be some changes that will be happening over the screen, followed by, once it is about to complete, make sure that the next button is enabled. So once this is completed, you have to go with the next. That's it. Your Anaconda has been installed. Go to finish, and you can say that installation success. Welcome to Anaconda. So Python is also a snake name. I don't know, Anaconda is also a snake name, but why they have kept it, only God knows. But in terms of Python, Python is a programming language. Anaconda is a software where you can write all of your Python code, right? So once you have installed, you can see that you go to your search and you search Anaconda. You will find this Anaconda Navigator. Now this Anaconda Navigator is what we would have installed it. Okay, once you open this Anaconda Navigator, the software actually opens up, and this is a confirmation that the software has downloaded. You can see that there is one snake green color um, screen that is opening up. Now this is nothing but my software. So once you open this software, as I say, after downloading, after downloading, after installation, you go to the search tab and you search Anaconda Navigator. It should come, and just click that, and automatically this screen will come here. That's what we are seeing here, followed by Anaconda Navigator. So that is what Anaconda Navigator. There are n number of editing tools that we have. We have lot of tools that we can have for using our coding purpose. And in this, we will be choosing one thing called, in this, we have so much of tools available. And in this, again, in the PPT also, you can see that there is a uh, installation steps that has been added, right? And once this installation is completed, you can see that we have something called Jupyter Notebook. So in the Jupyter Notebook is where we'll be writing the code. So if you see a Jupyter Notebook, so you can write the code in Spider, you can write the code in IBM Watson Studio, you can write the code in Orange, you can write the code in PyCharm, you can write the code in Notebook. Anywhere you want, you write it. Okay. So once you have installed this, you please go and click something called Launch Your Notebook. Today definitely is a good day. So we will write our first code in Python. Please go and click this launch button. Please go and click this launch button, right? So these are the tools that is available, and automatically there will be one Jupyter notebook that will be open. So again, I'm saying there are multiple tools within this Anaconda. Anaconda is a software. In this, you have n number of editors. You have n number of editors. Wherever you feel like writing the code, you can write it. You can use it PyCharm, you can use it Orange, you can use it VS Code, Spider, IBM, Jupyter Notebook, wherever you want, you write it. I will prefer to write it in Jupyter Notebook. The moment you click the Jupyter Notebook, you will be getting this browser. You will be getting this browser. So it's a home page. What you need to do, simply go to new, and you have to simply go and write a new Python terminal, and you will be able to get this. Now the beauty of this is the environment is so friendly that it gives you like a two-line viewability that you can go and write the code. For example, now I will write print hello world happy learning, right? So once you enter this command, there is a run command here. You simply go and click run command. Automatically, your code will be done. Now that is why I say that it's very, very easy to go and write your coding, right? See, you're all new to programming. I agree that you don't know even ABCD. But you see, if I want to add two numbers, very simple. I'll take A equal to 11. I'll take B equal to 9. I'll take C equal to A plus B. And I'll take print of C. Do you think I'm also from a coding background? But see how I've written. Very simple code. What is A? 11. See, you open your calculator. First, what you do, you enter 11, right? Okay, I've put A equal to 11. Then I will then enter the next number, B equal to 7. Then I'm adding C equal to A plus B, and I'm entering. See, the answer is 20. Now this is how your editor is also user friendly, and that editor we are using is a Jupyter notebook. In your childhood days, uh, I mean, I have used it. I don't know about you. In your childhood days, whenever you write, you practice for your handwriting, we go with a 4-line notebook, 2-line notebook, ruled, unruled. We have seen all this, right? This is like a 2-line notebook. See, everything is like a 2-line. I'm writing the code, I'm getting the result. I'm writing the code, I'm getting the results. Now, this is where we will be writing the coding. And as I said, today we have seen why exactly Python, how we have installed it. And from the next class onwards, it's going to be completely, it's going to be practicals. No more presentation. Everything is going to be implemented in this Jupyter notebook. So tomorrow, before coming to the session, I want each and every one to be installed on this Anaconda. We'll be sharing the documents, but still it is very straightforward. If you go and search in Google Anaconda, download, you will get it. Everything is a straightforward steps. It's like very straightforward software. In Anaconda, we have a lot of editors, but one thing which I've chosen is Jupyter notebook. In the notebook, I'll start writing the code. And today successfully I've written 2 lines of code. Okay. So with that, we have come to end of our introduction to Python. Any questions? Any questions?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Databricks notebook also we can write the Python, right? So what is the difference between this Databricks, Jupyter notebook, and PyCharm, all three?
See, as I said, here I cannot go and write the code for web development. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook is easy for us to write the calculations. We can go and analyze it. We can go and write some transformations. We can write it. So Jupyter Notebook is as simple as that. It's like a notebook. If you go want to build a web application, if you want to go and test it properly, there you need a editor. For that editor, we have something called PyCharm. There's another one called Django framework, where all this are really required if you're building a web application. We are not here to build a web application, and that is why one reason that I have avoided all this. It's a fully fledged IDE, right? With both scientific and web Python web development. We are not building any Python web development here. That's why we are skipping here. But this one, web-based interactive computing notebook, edit and run human readable docs. So this is makes it easy for us to write for the transformations. Now what we have done is everything is a on-prem. That means I have personally installed in my laptop. I have personally downloaded it. I have personally go and open this. So everything I'm doing personally. The same notebook, we can do it in the cloud also. That will be Databricks. So Databricks, everything they will provide on the cloud. So we can have collaboration. This one only you are using, right? This you are using only on your laptop. How to collaborate, how to work with a team, how to share the code. For that, we also have Databricks. So Databricks will be also taught as part of this course, but it will come in the cloud services. For the initial 20-22 hours of what we are going to learn in Python, everything we are going to do it in Jupyter Notebook. Are we good?
Yeah.
Any other question?
Yes.
Yes, hello. Can I
Yes,
ask a question? Yes.
yes.
Today, this is my first class. Is it the first class or is it the second class?
See, in Python, this is a first class. Okay, if you see here, to become a data engineer, one thing which you have to aware of is a roadmap. So what are the things which is really required to become a data engineer? So to become a data engineer, this is a process that we follow. We have to learn SQL, we have to learn Python, followed by data warehousing, followed by big data, and finally we'll be choosing one cloud service, which is going to be Azure. So if you ask me, SQL we've already completed, and now we are into Python. In Python, today's class is first class. So this and this are not related to each other. So definitely you can join from here. You can go through the process. You can learn it. SQL, you are allowed to join any other batch also. So for the
Oh,
people who are like already been present, they have already completed SQL and they have come here. People who have joined newly, you can still attend Python classes. And for SQL, you can cover up in recordings will be there, videos will be there, everything will be there available for you. If you still want, you can attend SQL in any other batch also. And the course duration will be 4.5 months.
got it.
To answer your question, it's a first class in Python.
Okay.
Hi,
As part of
I
this
have
Hi,
a question.
Santosh.
Yeah, yeah,
as
one
part
by
of
one,
this course,
please.
yeah, as part of this course, will you be covering any like real-time project kind of
Totally,
activity?
totally will be covering 4 projects. 2 projects,
Okay.
I'll call it as a mini project. It'll be like a real-time use case, and 2 will be like a real-time projects. So totally 4.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for the cloud platform, are you guys doing AWS as well or just Azure?
Uh, until this, the syllabus is going to be same. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And here you have a choice. If you
Oh,
want
okay.
to learn Azure, you can learn Azure. If you want to learn AWS,
None of that.
we'll be shifted to AWS. It's
Okay,
completely your
gotcha.
wish. Both are having
Okay.
demand, but whichever you prefer, you can always opt for it. But this course is specifically for Azure data engineering. But in the end, you feel like, no, I want to learn AWS. You're always welcome. We do have a AWS classes also. You'll be diverted into a different batch.
Got-
That's it.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
And the time of the class would be same as today.
Same
And
time, 6:30 in the morning. It will go up to 7:45.
how many days of the week?
It will be 5 days initially. Okay, so it's will be like Monday to Friday. Okay, and usually whenever we are working on projects, right? So projects will be like I'll not be able to cover in 1 or 2 hours. So it will be like long 2 to 3 hours. So usually we cover projects on weekends. That not now. Later part. That also will be only on Saturdays. Last coming to the last part of the course. We also have to have Azure subscription, which will be for 30 days. So we have to utilize the 30 days. So in the last class, you will have classes on Saturdays. But in the initial days, it's going to be just 5 days a week.
Weekend class also will be at the same timing, or it will be different?
It depends. Like let's see on weekends, but not now. We'll speak about it later. I'll ask the audience, whoever is like able to attend at the same time, we can go with it. Or else we'll push it by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. That depends on the weekends, but regular classes will always be 6:30.
Hi,
S-
Santosh.
Yes.
This is not related to this particular class. After I think around 2 years, I'm joining your classes and I'm feeling the same energy. So is there any secret behind this, Santosh?
You're meeting us after 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. See, one thing which I would say is I'm not a trainer actually. I'm a working profession. So the way I teach and the way I cover will be always from as what I do in the projects. So leading a team of 40 members in an organization, I try to be more specific for my clients, and that is what I'm using here. So if you ask me the secret, it's as simple as being on perfection and giving you the quality training so that you people can get into your career. So even if you attend morning 6:30 or even if you attend night 12 o'clock, this is how the flow will be. It's all about one thing which I would use a word called like passion about the work. As simple as that.
Yes. Yeah. Regarding the data warehousing, what tools are you going to be using?
Data warehousing, you'll be learning the concepts of fact tables, dimension tables, slowly changing dimensions. See, you know how to work with data, but we don't know how to organize the data. So your data
Right.
warehousing will be completely involving how you need to organize the data. In which table, what type of data I need to store, how to store it. Those type of concepts will come as part of data warehouse.
Will you cover any Snowflake?
Yes, star schema, Snowflake schema will be covered.
Okay.
For
Excuse
all
me,
this
I had a
software, we will set up the environment in our local machine, or you have provide any kind of access to any cloud-based environment. I'm just wondering.
See, for the first few things, like for the first few topics which you see on the screen, we will always prefer to work with on-prem. That is, for the first 4 parts, we will be doing everything in on-prem. That means each one will be installing in their own personal machine. I'll be sharing the software links. I'll be helping you in installation. We'll be learning. In the final part, we'll be going with cloud. For that cloud, each one has to create their own account, and we will be having a free account that Azure gives you. They give you 16,000 credits. We can utilize that. So we don't provide any environment, but Azure itself provides a free account. With that, we can use it for 30 days. And that is why I said in the last class, you will have classes on Saturdays also, so that we can cover up this subscription also.
Santosh,
Mhm.
actually, in my organization, my colleague, they work on Informatica and Avenue Studio. But here we are learning the Azure data engineering. What are the difference between these two roles? Like how what
See,
they are
if
doing?
you ask me the high level difference, both are same. What people are doing in Informatica, the same thing you're going to do it in Azure. But we have come to a stage where we are not preferring on-prem going forward. Everything will be in the cloud. So going forward, every solution is going to be in the cloud. So today, if you ask me, whoever comes to me for guidance, I say that, hey, be good in communication, start learning SQL, Python. This is really important, right? So if you know this, you can survive in any IT technology. That's what I said. But 2029, 2030, 5 years down the line, I can predict the IT market now itself. Each and every person has to know one or the other cloud. If you don't know cloud, you will not be able to survive in IT. That is how the things are going to change. Every single company, they are going to move the data into cloud. So cloud knowledge is really important. So now if you ask me, people who are doing in on-prem Informatica, you closely observe, even they will move on to cloud in the recent times, like next 2-3 years, they'll also move it. As of now, okay, there are on-prem, but slowly on-prem applications are moving into the cloud. So that's how it is. Things will move on, and cloud is going to be the future. They have learned on-prem and they'll be coming to the cloud, and you are directly learning the cloud. That's the difference. But objective wise, both are data pipeline developers.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
So Santosh, for AWS as well, I know it's a different batch, but for AWS also, it's the similar way that we have like 30 days free account, so we can practice that.
Yeah, for AWS also, you will have some credits.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, let me
Hi,
answer.
Santosh.
Yeah, go
Yeah, just checking on the SQL assignments. Is there any assignment that KESA will be giving to us to
Yeah,
work on with?
we will be giving, since we have completed SQL and we have already asked you to solve it, Hacker Rank and SQL Zoo, and there is a lead code that we have already asked you to cover. So slowly we will start giving you the assignments both in SQL and Python, and we expect you to complete on given deadlines.
Sure, Santosh. Thank you.
Okay, so let me answer a few questions which was been asked in chat. Sorry, is there NoSQL covered? So NoSQL is not covered. NoSQL will be covered in future. And someone is asking, is this first class? Yes, definitely this is the first class in Python. So right from today, we'll be learning Python for the next 20 days, which comes around 24 to 25 hours of Python. So total entire data engineering, we will be learning in 100 days. So SQL 20, Python 20, and this itself will take almost 50, and this will take 10, this will take 10. 100 to 110 days it will come. Okay, so now we'll be starting with Python. So people who have attended today, whose first class is today, don't worry about the SQL. You will be given opportunity to attend any batch in KSR, because we known to be a data driven startup company, we always prefer you to know SQL at any cost. SQL should be like your mother tongue. Each and everyone should know it. So SQL, you will be allowed to attend any batch in KSR, any trainer, any batch, anytime you can go and attend SQL. From Python, you can attend here. People who have already completed, well and good. People who are joining today, don't worry, you'll also get recordings of my batch. You also get the recordings, or you want to attend the live batches of any batch, you will be allowed. So SQL is completely flexible for you, because that's one of the language which you have to know it. And from Python, we will start from today. It will go for another 80 days, the complete course. Are we good?
Santosh, one small question related to SQL. What are the databases covered? Is it Oracle or Postgres?
We have covered MySQL.
Okay,
And
so is only MySQL being covered?
yeah, MySQL is covered. See, with respect to of tool, the language is important. So we have given the importance to SQL. Tool, anything it can be. It can be Postgres, it can be Oracle, it can be SQL Server, it can be MySQL. In our course, we have covered MySQL. Any other questions? Okay, as we promised from KSR, always the first 5 days is going to be free. So first 5 days, you can see the way we teach, and then you can take a call. So from today, the first 5 days, it's going to be completely free sessions, where the new people as well as old people, you will be getting a Zoom link you can attend. And post 5 days, you can take a call, whether to join this course, or in the 5 days, you have a weekend in between, you can go and do research, check with other institutes, compare the syllabus, go and visit our website. You'll be able to download the syllabus that we are going to teach, compare the syllabus. See, end of the day, doesn't matter where you read from. You read from KSR, you read from XYZ, that's up to you. But learn this technology, because market has changed so much after COVID. Right? It's not easy to sustain in the job. Things have changed. So if you want to be like on top of this IT technology, always you have to be upskilled. So there is one thing which I always strongly believe in. Okay. You have to keep on reading until we die. That's the only way to survive. So please upskill yourself. Wherever you are, wherever you read, data engineering is going to be in demand. So attend 5 days here. Meanwhile, we have given you 5 days time to go and research, compare it, attend other institutes demo, and then take a call. We're not forcing you to join here, but it's up to your decision. End of the day, you have to take a wise decision. Okay. So for the first 5 days, link will be shared in WhatsApp. However, you got the link today, the same way you will get the link for next 5 days. After that, only registered people will be able to attend the class. Okay. So with all that, we'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow at 6:30.
Santosh?
Yes.
So whatever the PPT you are sharing right now, is it shared in the portal or something?
See, as I said, right, today is the only session I'm going to use PPT. That also I've just shown you what is high level language, what is low level language, what is a installation. Installation document will be shared. So you have to install it. But every class is going to be a hands-on class. So there is no PPT. I'll be opening a notepad. That is, I'll be noting a Jupyter notebook. I'll be writing the code on screen, live coding, and that's how all the classes will go.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Of all the classes, will you be sending the recordings to everyone?
every class recording will be there. If you are not able to attend for a couple of days, never mind, you will be getting the recording. The recordings are valid for 1 year.
Okay.
Up to 1 year, you can access our recordings. All good? Any questions?
Is today's class added in the portal?
Yes, it will be done. Just it's still recording, right? So another 30-40 minutes, you'll be able to see that in our portal.
Okay,
You can also
thanks.
see this video in our YouTube.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. So we'll meet tomorrow. So even though tomorrow is, most of you people are like having this elections, but you're not going to vote it early morning. So please attend the class tomorrow and please vote in the second half. Okay, thank you all.